Morning, love.
Hello, come in.
Smiths, how much do you love them?
Welcome back. This week, Independent Senator Nick Xenophon made headlines, as referred to previously on Weekend Sunrise today, when he refused to be styled for the front cover of magazine. That's GQ. Cover models usually wear high-end designer labels under the gaze of renowned fashion editor Brad Holmes. That's not Brad Holmes, that's Nick Xenophon.
Yes, and speaking of Xenophon, he refused to wear anything worth more than $100. Instead, he was photographed wearing a suit from Target, undies from Kmart, that's important, and shoes from Lowe's.
Did we see him in the undies from
I don't think
Kmart?
we did, but it's
we just had to assume they were on.
Yeah, and that he was telling the truth.
We could have saved himself another $5 by just freeballing it. Anyway, so does this prove that he's a man of the people? Over to our Masters of Spin advertising expert, Dee Madigan, and out from Campaign Edge, and Dan Gregory from the Impossible Institute. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Now, obviously, you know, people want to connect in a different way, and that's why they do magazine covers. Do they connect?
Yeah, pictures work differently than words. They actually circumvent critical thought. So when you see a picture, you connect to it a lot better than you would the words they say. And so, yeah, absolutely they work, as long as they don't feel too contrived and too airbrushed.
Right.
Because sometimes it can work against you. Think back to Cheryl Curnow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of contrived.
And the knitting for Julia Gillard.
Yeah, although I thought that was a bit much.
It was kind
When
of...
she was actually knitting
strange.
something for the...
But if you look at the Di Natale one with the black, you know, you've got the Greens are going for the young, groovy voters, and then you've got him sort of styled to the max. It looked, I think, sort of off-brand.
Well, I think he's clearly trying to prove that he's not this inner-city intellectual champagne socialist. And but you know what's interesting? It's the no socks thing that gets me about Di Natale. I mean, look, clearly he can get away with it because of the surname, but he's my age. You can't do no socks at our age.
No, I agree. Well, if you're a green, though, people expect you, probably.
Of their fair trade sort of,
That's right. Because there's so much polyester in socks. How does that break down? Ultimately, a dolphin's going to swallow that sock. You die.
And Nick Xenophon, man of the people, doesn't wear his own underpants. Not good.
So can it work against them? You know, do you think that people think less of if it doesn't quite hit the mark?
Yes, absolutely it can do. Like, on the political trail, half the day is spent working out what pictures are going to end up in the news and what those pictures are going to say about the politicians.
Yes.
Which is why you're really careful to make sure, you know, they're not standing next to exit signs, or in Tony Abbott's case, remember the reject sign.
Yes.
So at least with a magazine cover, you've got a lot more control over it. But I think sometimes, yeah, they let the magazine people overstyle them.
So, look, I mean, just looking at that picture of Malcolm Turnbull there on GQ, you know, he's trying to appeal to a very broad base of people, yeah? The picture doesn't necessarily say, I'm a broad-based fellow. Whereas the Richard Di Natale, I mean, he's trying to appeal to quite a narrow base of people, i.e. inner-city Green voting type, and that says that.
But don't forget, at the time that GQ photo was taken, you know, his competition was getting around in budgie smugglers, so he needed to look slightly better than that.
Yeah, right.
But again, I mean, you know, that photo is about, you know, projecting success, and, you know, I'm a man who has never worn the same pair of underpants more than once.
Yes,
Yeah, and also he looks very comfortable in that. So I think that maybe that's why it might work a little better than some of the others. It does. It looks natural for him. But he doesn't look like he's posing.
He looked like a prime minister. He looked like a prime minister you might like to have at the time. We were, as you said, hating Abbott so much.
Yes.
So, and that fed into that. So it was probably a pretty good picture for the time.
I wish Clive Palmer were running again. Get him in a moo-moo on the front cover of GQ
Camilla
next month.
moo-moo.
Camilla moo-moo. Exactly. It'd be a moo-moo.
I think he was polling 2%, so I think
That might not happen. Thank you very much, Dan. Dee, lovely to see you.